Why hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Chris here, coming to you with another video. This time I'd like to talk to you about 10 things I want to see in Monster Hunter Wilds Master Rank. And I'm not going to waste your time here because this could be quite a long video. So, number 1, I would absolutely love to see expansions to the existing world maps that we've got in Monster Hunter Wilds, and potentially a new area. Now, obviously, we're no stranger to receiving new maps in G rank. Of course, in Monster Hunters, since the dawn of G rank, we've been getting new areas and new maps to explore. Most recently, obviously, in World, we had the Guiding Lands and the Hoarfrost Reach, and in Sunbreak, we had the island biome and what was the other one? I forget the name of the other one. It's the one with the fortress and everything. Huge map with Monkey and Lunagaron and Malzeno on it. You know the one that I'm talking about. Anyway, I'd like to see obviously a new area come to Monster Hunter Wilds. I think that's no surprise. I'm pretty sure all of us are wanting and expecting some kind of new map. Some people, of course, are saying, oh, we're going to get 2 maps. Some people, you know what, for me, I'm happy if we just get 1 new area. I'd actually quite like to see a new arena. One of the things I really enjoyed about Monster Hunter World Iceborne specifically was we basically had 3 arenas. We had the Celiana Cache, and then we had the 2 different arenas. We had the one with all the cannons and the ballista, and then we had the one with the big slope at the back. I think new arenas can add quite a lot of flavor to Monster Hunter without really doing too much. In Wilds at the moment, we've only got the 1 arena, and it's okay, but it doesn't really allow for any of the monsters to take advantage of any of their dynamic biome interactivity elements. So my idea for a new arena in Wilds would be something that perhaps has a fire quadrant, an ice quadrant, a quadrant with some water in it, and then maybe just a deserty biome area. So 4 different areas, and then you have different elements on each one of them. You could even have a foresty region. So imagine it's sort of split into 4 quadrants with slightly different biomes in them, and then different monsters, when they enter those biomes that have unique interactions within them, can actually utilize them and perhaps gain some strength from them. I feel like that could be kind of interesting. And then as for map expansions, well, we've already had the Lagiacrus added in Title Update 2, and they just expanded the Scarlet Forest, and I thought that was an excellent idea. Of course, in the past with the Guiding Lands, as the Guiding Lands and updates came out, we got more and more areas added to them. So I'd quite like to see Capcom just build upon some of the existing areas. As for a new map, I did have the idea maybe a subterranean biome could be kind of cool, but I'd love to know what you think about that down in the comments, guys, because I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have really good ideas for new maps. There's obvious ones, like they could bring back swamps, we could get an island map, we could get like a big sort of fern tree forest map, but I think in terms of new maps, there's so many different directions they could go. I really couldn't put my finger on it, but the big desire for me, even more so than a new map, is just expansions on the existing ones. Because I think the current maps that we have in Wilds are fantastic. They're really quite deep. There's a lot to explore, and giving us more elements within those maps, I think, could be really cool. And of course, with that, they could expand the camp system, allow us to place down more camps on the map, and that would give us more player choice. And yeah, I mean, hey, you could really open up things like the Ice Shard Cliff to monsters like Gammoth with a slightly bigger area, so on and so forth. So that would be my first desire for the Capcom devs over at Monster Hunter to add in Master Rank. Now, the second one, it's a pretty obvious one. I think everybody at some point in time since 4U has been thinking this. But I'd kind of like to see a new weapon. I think it might be time, guys, that we get a 15th weapon. I think it's time. It's been so long. I mean, for you, we got Charge Blade and Insect Glaive, both fantastic additions to the roster. And we haven't had anything since then. Now, we've had a lot of new moves and things like that added to existing weapons, which, don't get me wrong, has been fantastic. But I do think it's probably time with the 6th generation of games, given that we didn't get anything in the 5th gen, other than Hunting Horn in Sunbreak, which was essentially a new weapon. Other than that, we haven't had anything. So I would love to see a new weapon. I've heard loads of fantastic ideas for weapons. So from whip chains to harpoon spears, all kinds of different ideas. Some of which I've done come up with myself. What was it? There was the whip meringue, so like a whip that transforms into a boomerang that you can throw around and it comes back, so you get a ranged and a melee attack. It's quite quick attack. But my favorite idea for a new weapon. So I asked myself, what do Monster Hunter players always ask for? They always ask for the tonfas back. Now, for those of you that don't know what the tonfas are, the tonfas were a unique weapon to Monster Hunter Frontier. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really good fun to play. But their niche was kind of taken in the mainline series by Insect Glaive. So tonfas were essentially a quick attack, blunt aerial weapon, which is what the Insect Glaive is kind of. I mean, it's not so much blunt, but it can do blunt damage with the Kinsect, so it does fulfill the role of tonfas. So I was thinking, okay, if we're not going to have an aerial weapon again, like the tonfas, because we've already kind of got Insect Glaive, that's its unique feature. Why don't we at least have a really quick attack blunt weapon to rival Dual Blades? So I was kind of going through and thinking, well, what blunt weapons have existed throughout human history? And there's one that just, immediately came to mind. I was thinking of God of War when I thought of this, and that's the Cestus. Now, the Cestus on their own, that's pretty cool. That would make a good weapon, right? How about Gun Cestus? Alright? So, we've all seen the gun lance. We all know that Monster Hunter has its own guns in light bowgun and heavy bowgun. Why not a quick attack weapon that does blunt, that you can load shells into, and as you punch, you fire off medium range projectiles, and then you have to reload them by doing certain attacks and combos like the gun lance. So think swing reload or slam reload, some of those kind of moves. Now, the weapon for the gun cestus, my idea would be slightly slower than the dual blades, so it doesn't overtake the dual blades niche, but faster than, say, the sword and shield or the longsword. And it would have short ranged attacks. We're talking perhaps sword and shield sort of range, but when you load the shells in, it goes to medium range, kind of more like the gun lance, right? You could have different shelling types for it. You could have elemental shelling, you could have impact shelling, so it would work with a lot of the skills that are already in the game. But yeah, I think it could be a really cool idea. I'm sure you guys all have your own ideas for amazing weapons that you'd love to see added into the game. And once again, I would direct you down to the comments because I'd love to hear them. But I think Capcom, if you're listening, it's time for a 15th weapon. Doesn't have to be the gun cestus. That's just my idea. But I feel like a quick attack blunt weapon is something that we're missing because obviously it was in Frontier, in the tonfas. And we don't have that anymore, so I feel like that could be really, really cool. But yeah, let me know what you think about that idea down below. That's my second wish for something that I want to see come to Wilds Master Rank. My third wish for Wilds Master Rank. This one might be a little bit controversial because I know not a lot of people were the biggest fan of them, but I kind of want switch skills back from Rise and Sunbreak. I actually think that was one of the best elements that game did. There were so many fantastic new moves that we had access to. Now, not all of them were great, but that was the magic of switch skills. You could pick and choose what you wanted to use. So, something that perhaps wasn't that good comparatively, or something that one player considered to be useless, another player might really enjoy and use into their moveset. And then, of course, certain moves had different power scaling, so some scaled better with raw attacks, some scaled better with element attacks. That in turn really helped diversify the build meta towards the end game especially. So you ended up having completely different armor pieces and skills for the same weapon just based on the movesets that you were utilizing. And kind of feeding into the idea of having switch skills back. Okay, so maybe they don't want to give us that back in Wilds for whatever reason. I would really love to see some of the moves that we got, especially in Sunbreak or in previous Monster Hunter games, make a comeback into the moveset. One of the big ones that I keep talking about on stream, and I'm sure my community are sick and tired of me saying it, but I'm going to say it again here for the video. Water Strike. Hammer. Where is Water Strike? Now, if you've never got to use Water Strike before, it was a unique move in Sunbreak and Rise, where you could press the circle button to initiate your Big Bang attack, as usual, but the first press of the circle button performed a counter, known as the Water Strike. And you could basically press circle into an oncoming attack, and if you successfully hit a counter by pressing that circle button, you would immediately get a golf swing. Now, envision this. Monster is coming at you, Seregios. He slides towards you. Bam! You Water Strike, the first slide. You press triangle to do your golf swing. You hold. He comes back to slide from the other way. Bam! Offset. Yes. How good would that be? We need Water Strike back. The monsters are only going to get faster in Master Rank, and I think some of the tools that we had in Sunbreak were the perfect things to deal with those monsters. And I think Water Strike could be one of the answers for Hammer. And that's just one example. I mean, I'm sure you've all used a weapon in the game at some point. Maybe some of you haven't, but I'm sure many of you have. And you've thought to yourself, there's just something missing here. Perhaps it's the end of a combo finishes and you linger there for too long, you know, like 5-6 seconds of you just recovering it from an animation. And you're just like, if only I could just chain this into something. And I think that's what Sunbreak did really, really well. It had a lot of moves that you could chain from one to the other thanks to the switch skill set. And I think they could bring that back. I think either they bring back some of the moves to just help the flow of combat for a couple of weapons, Hammer being one of them. Obviously, Hammer's had massive improvements so far, so it's in a much better spot than it was initially. But I do feel like there's just that little something that it's missing, and I would love to see Water Strike come back, along with other moves for other weapons from previous games. But again, guys, if there's something that you can think of, a move or a switch skill that you'd love to see come back, I'd like to hear it in the comments down below. Definitely. Let me know what that is. Moving on. Number 4, guys. Number 4. Now, this one... Oh, it's subjective. I think this is probably where some people will disagree with me. But I'd like to see better, more creative set bonuses in the game. And feeding into that, maybe the old build system comes back for Master Rank. So, what I'm thinking is, in Master Rank, it's very likely that we're going to get combo decorations for armor. At the moment, we have combo decorations for weapons, but I think combo decorations for armor kind of makes sense at this point, or will make sense at this point, when we get to Master Rank. And with that, perhaps we could have it so that you can put any decoration in any slot. I know it'd be very hard to balance given what they've done so far, but I'm noticing that the restrictions that they've placed on weapons and armor skills lead to less diversity in builds. Certainly when I compare the game to Sunbreak, maybe not compared to World, but World, that was due to a lot of the endgame armor sets having way too many slots and then really powerful set bonuses. I don't think having all of the skills in the same pool and being able to put armor and weapon slots in, you know, wherever you wanted was necessarily something that led to that being an issue. Main reason I think that is because there was quite a lot of build diversity pre-Safi Jiva. It was kind of just when we had everything, all sizes, all shoes fit one size, with the Fatalis and things like AT Volcana. And then, of course, like I said, better set bonuses. I mean, we had some fantastic set bonuses in the past, but a lot of the set bonuses in Wilds at the moment, while some of them are good, they just lack creativity, and the ones that have creativity are so heavily undertuned. I mean, okay, let's look at something like the Zhuwu set bonus, where you can eat meat and gain an attack bonus. but the attack bonus is really only equal to, oh man, it's probably less than 5% for a set bonus on a set that's not really that great. And then you've got other things like burst boost, which is pretty good, 8 raw bonus element at 2 pieces. It's solid, but the armor's obviously a bit lacking. I know we're going to be getting transcendent pieces soon, so that will probably be rectified. But it doesn't really inspire anything great. It's just sort of, oh yeah, okay, well, burst is now better. It reminds me of the secret skills in World a little bit. Somewhat of a letdown where they're just essentially, oh, this is the same skill, but just a stronger version of it. And I think they can do better. I think skills like Frostcraft, I think the more recent skills like the Omega bonuses that really make you think about your playstyle, how you're playing and how you approach the fight, I think those are more exciting. I'd love to see more skills like that at Master Rank. Hopefully we do. I mean, even the Seregios weapon bonuses and the Legiacrus set bonuses, it's a little more creative. So it looks like Capcom are kind of heading in the right direction, but I just want to encourage them to, keep doing that. Don't slow down. Really focus on bringing us some interesting new set bonuses in Master Rank. Yeah, because some of them are just not it. And then, of course, there's the other problem where some of the set bonuses are just so weak. Like I said, Guardian Rathalos, kind of an interesting bonus, but it's terrible. It doesn't give you anywhere near enough. So perhaps revisit some of those other set bonuses and bring them up a little bit. Yeah, I think that could be cool, because for the longest time in this game, we were all just using Gogmazios, because with the antivirus paired with the set bonus, 25% affinity, that's just so good. And nothing else, even though we had some creative and niche stuff, can really compete with a 25% bonus for crit, when crit gives you a 25% damage increase, 40% of course if you're using crit boost. So I think that's something that I'd love to see in Master Rank. Again, let me know what you think. Do you like the set bonuses in Wilds? Are you happy with them? I personally would like to perhaps see them go a little bit further. Perhaps really make them good so it encourages us to use different armor sets, not just because of their skill efficiency, but because they make us play in an interesting way and just allow us to have a bit more fun, really. Yeah, I think that would be something that I would like to see personally. Going, sort of expanding upon that, obviously if you get stronger set bonuses, there's something else that you got to make stronger, and that's point number 5. I would like Capcom to keep expanding upon the challenge in Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, this probably sounds like a stupid point to many of you. You're like, well, they're bringing Master Rank in. Of course they're going to expand upon the challenge. What do you mean? It's a bit of a stupid suggestion. Well, you say that, but the thing was, in Monster Hunter World, and I remember this quite vividly, even in Rise to an extent, perhaps less so, once we started G-Rank, the game got exceedingly easy again. It was almost like we'd gone back to the mid-game or the early game. Whereas I specifically remember in the older Monster Hunter games, when you started G-Rank, even those early fights, and you could say, well, it's nostalgia talking, but I've been back, I've played Monster Hunter 2G recently. No, when you go back to G-Rank, it really, really brings back fights that you're familiar with and makes them ridiculously hard. We're talking Hypnocatrice. When you start that off, that thing can one-shot you when you first get into G-Rank. You can have Fatalis armor, you can have, Silver Rathalos, high-rank armor. You can get one-shot. And maybe that's a bit too extreme. I'm not saying perhaps we bring back that level of old-gen difficulty. But what I am saying is, given that we've had Savage Omega, given that we've had 9-star Seregios, 9-star Legiacrus, 9-star Gogmazios, all fights that I'm sure have presented the majority of us with a reasonable amount of challenge, let's not go back to the start of G-Rank and go, oh, right, well, they've just beaten Zoshia and they've got access to it. We don't want to make it harder than high-rank Zoshia or something like that. I think G-Rank should really feel like a progression. It should really feel like things are ramping up right from the get-go. I think Capcom should have the confidence to trust its player base to accept the challenge. I mean, we're living in a day and age now where some of the most popular and best-selling games of all time pride themselves and celebrate their identity through the difficulty and the challenge that it presents to its player base. And Monster Hunter, for some reason, certainly at launch with Wilds and again at launch with Rise and World at launch, they shy away from that heritage that they inspired. Many of these games, the high level of difficulty came from these other developers looking at things like Dark Souls and Demon Souls and of course Elden Ring. They were looking at them playing and enjoying those old Monster Hunter games where they were so unforgiving and brutal and you really, they didn't hold your hand at all. This is something that Monster Hunter did first. It was one of the first third-person action RPGs to really do this. And I'd love to see them reclaim that a little bit. I think they need to have confidence. This is going to be a G-Rank DLC. I reckon they can go in full guns blazing. And I'm hoping that Capcom are thinking along these lines already because of the fact that we're only just now going to get Gogmazios in, the next few weeks. So the start of the Elder Dragons is the opening of Master Rank, essentially. So I think it's safe to assume that the difficulty hopefully really will ramp up. And if it does get easy towards the beginning, it might just be for the sake of a refresher. For players that are perhaps returning to the series who have been absent for a year, not played since pre-title update 1. But I would implore Capcom, don't accommodate too much in Master Rank to newer players. I really do think that newer players have got plenty of stuff to enjoy in the base game if they're just picking the game up with the expansion, without them having to worry too much about the overall ease and accessibility at the start of G-Rank/Master Rank. So yeah, my wish for number 5 is don't let the game get easy when G-Rank comes out, when Master Rank. Don't let it get easy. Keep that challenge up. I'd really like to see that. I think many other people in the community would be a little bit disappointed if things got too easy after we've sort of all become accustomed and have been enjoying the challenge that Wilds has finally started presenting to us. That leads me on to level 6. So, I don't just want a challenge, guys, okay? The challenge is nice, but it's the monsters that provide the challenge. And with those monsters, I would love to see Fatalis level threats, also known as first class threats. There's not that many of them in Wilds at the moment. We basically have Omega and Zoshia, and you could probably put the argument for Jinderhad being a first-class threat. And even then, that might be a bit of a contentious statement. Some people are likely to disagree with any of those monsters being classified as a first-class threat. But I would love to see more Fatalis level experiences. I think some of the most fun many of us had in Iceborne and in Sunbreak were fights like Amatsu, fights like Fatalis, Alatrion, Safi Jiva. The list goes on. Even in the older gen Monster Hunter games, many of us fondly remember fighting White Fatalis, Crimson Fatalis, Alatrion, Dire Moralis, and if you played Frontier, all of the fights that encompasses as well, of which there are many. But I would love to see some of these really high-level threats either return or we get something new. And I mean, hey, Capcom's got a huge back catalogue of fantastic fights. Shantien, Odi Batarasu, Tycoon Zamuza, all of these from Frontier. Of course, we've got a Cantor, Yukanlos. Many of these monsters haven't been seen for decades in the franchise, if not at all in the mainline series. That's not even to mention all of the monsters that they have in Monster Hunter Online that they could utilize. Now, of course, we would love to see, I'm sure many of us, just a new, unique threat. Because if we took the mentality of only expecting returning high-level threat monsters, well, we would never have gotten fights like Kulve Taroth. So, and she was blimmin' fantastic in Monster Hunter World. That was such a good fight. I know some people weren't the biggest fan, but I loved Kulve. I think Kulve, perhaps the weapon reward system aside, the fight and the overall experience of it was incredible. So I think whilst we have Zoshia in this game, I think that big siege epic threat, I think we still need that, and I hope that we get that in Master Rank in Wilds. I'm sure we will, but maybe not just one. Maybe not just one. I'm a greedy fella, I'll take a few. Because in World we had so many. We had so many epic set-piece fights at endgame. And I am hoping that the absence of the Elder Dragons, specifically in Monster Hunter Wilds, is a sign of things to come. Perhaps that's, we can expect all of these things coming in the G-Rank expansion. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, let me know what you think. Perhaps you don't want any Elders. Maybe you want Wilds to, stick to the brute wyverns and the flying wyverns and the carapations and the neopterons and all this, that, and the other, and let some of the other monsters shine. And you know what? That's a fair argument. I mean, hey, we could get really challenging versions of all of those monsters too. I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. Again, as I was just saying, that the flying wyverns, Eucanlos, Acantor, Tychon from Frontier, these would all be excellent alternatives to just having Elder Dragons, but still giving us an Elder Dragon level or a first class monster threat. So yeah, any ideas for returning monsters that you guys would like to see? Again, you know where to post them down below in the comments. I'll read them all, by the way. I do check all the comments. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting on the recent videos, and hopefully you've been enjoying these new videos as well, guys. We're halfway through this one, so the next, just over halfway through even, the next point 7, this one, it's not a big one. It's not a big point. But I'd quite like to see some more mantles put into the game. It's not a big deal for me, but there's only 4 mantles in Wilds, and I really enjoy the way they shake things up. I actually utilize different mantles with different builds, and they're all pretty good fun. You got the Corruption Mantle to boost the hits that you do and increase your affinity. You have the Evasion Mantle to boost your raw and successful iframe dodges. You have the Rocksteady Mantle, which is a shadow of its former self, but it does come in handy at the start of the fight, certainly if you need to do a certain, a setup or something, something scripted. Or Hunting Horn, it's very good for Hunting Horn because you can play all your notes uninterrupted and not have to worry about any roars or anything, so it's good in that scenario. And then of course you've got the Mending Mantle, which for me is excellent, much better than the Vitality Mantle that we had in World. And I am really happy that Mantles made it back. I just like to see more of them. I think they really outdid themselves with the ones that we've got in Wilds, but it just feels like there should be some more. And at the moment, I mean, if we think back to Iceborne, when we hit Master Rank, we were able to take 2 mantles with us. I don't know if they're going to do that in Master Rank again this time, but if they do, we kind of need a bigger pool of mantles. I'd love to perhaps see Impact Mantle return and get the treatment that Evasion Mantle's gotten in this game, because, perhaps ramp it up a little bit. The Elemental Mantles, I think you could make them all go down the lines of the Dragon-Proof Mantle that we got for fighting Devil Joe in Monster Hunter World. The Dragon-Proof Mantle, for those of you who don't know, not only did it boost our Dragon Resistance, but it also boosted our Dragon Element. And with Master Rank, I would expect the Elemental Cap to be hopefully released to increase build diversity and allow us to, play more into elemental builds. And if that's the case, having the Element Mantles back, but they boost our Element as well, could make for some really interesting gameplay opportunities. I know mantles aren't for everybody. I know it's one of those systems, gameplay systems, that some people just completely ignore it. But hey, if you completely ignore it, then you wouldn't be too opposed to it getting some extra mantles, would you? Because you wouldn't have to use them anyway. But for somebody who does enjoy the mantles, I do quite like using them. I like how it shakes up the gameplay and gives you a little bit of a boost or a power up. It can help save you in a clutch moment. I think it'd be interesting to bring some of them back, perhaps create even some new ones. Except for the Temporal Mantle. I think we can leave that one in World, right? That can that can stay behind. Although I must admit, the Temporal Mantle was very useful for getting blindfolded runs done. So I mean, hey, if they bring it back, I can start doing blindfold runs again. So I'm not too opposed to it. I like to call it the Streamer Mantle because it allows me to look over and read chat without dying. So yeah, just a small one for number 7. Yeah, I'd like to just see more mantles coming. It's not a big one. Let me know again down below, guys. What do you reckon? Mantles? Yes? No? Are they for you? Do you use them? Would you like to see more of them? Would you like them removed entirely? I mean, I know a lot of people are just like, nah, get rid of them. Get rid of them. I don't think we're going to see them gotten rid of at Master Rank. But yeah. Or perhaps would you like to see just the ones that we have expanded upon? Maybe we get some decoration slots in them. Who knows? That could also be interesting, like we had with Monster Hunter World. Anyway, let me know what you think about the mantles. And if you've got any ideas for new mantles that you think would be really cool to have, yeah, let me know. Perhaps we could have the wounding mantle that increases the rate at which we create wounds. Oh god. No, actually, now I think about it, maybe that's not the best idea. Retract that one. No, I didn't say anything. All right, number 8. Number 8's quite a big one for me. I would quite like to see Talisman edits, guys. Talisman edits and more rerolls. But now, we talked about rerolls recently in a previous video about Gogmazios and the new Artian weapon system. And, oh man, I would like to see rerolls going forward. If we don't get them for Gogmazios, and this whole talk of amending max Gogma Artian weapons, if we do continue the Artian system, if that does come back, if we do have some kind of new weapon system where we're rolling things, and indeed the charm system, I would love to be able to spend resources that we save up to roll aspects on them. Now, what I mean by that is, obviously you know what I mean by it with weapons when it comes to attack, affinity, element, sharpness, things like that. Yes, reroll those kind of aspects. I'm hoping that we're going to be getting that anyway. But I'm mainly thinking of sort of implementing that system onto talismans, because at the moment, the talisman system is, to put it politely, it's a bit difficult to deal with. I'm sure many of you have wanted to make a build, and then you've gone and, you know, looked through your talismans and gone, I don't have a talisman that can let me do that. And you've got a farm, and you just got to hope that RNG blesses you with your 1 in 10,000, 20,000, 90,000 drop, whatever it's going to be. And I don't think that is too constructive of an RNG element to have in Monster Hunter with all the other RNG elements. And I think when Master Rank comes, we're going to get new skills. There's going to be new bonuses. Charms are going to probably expand upon, or talismans even, are going to expand upon what can be put into them in terms of skills and other elements. And I think because of this, we need to have a system that allows us to, if we get skills or certain things on it that we don't want, perhaps we can spend a rather large amount of materials to re-roll them. So I can select aspects on a talisman that I get. Let's say I get an attack 3 and it's got geology 3 on it and it's got perfect slots. I don't want the geology 3 on it. So now my talisman is more or less like, it's okay, but if I want to max my build, I've got to roll another attack 3. And I've got to wait until the RNG gods bless me again with an attack 3, which could take goodness knows how long. I would suggest that you can re-roll a row. So I can go, select the row that Geologist 3 is on, and spend a load of materials and go, right, I'm going to re-roll that. And then maybe I get a burst, and I'm like, oh, that's it, that's what I wanted. So instead of having to wait for RNG, you just have to wait for RNG to come around to give you a talisman that's close to what you want, at which point you can spend materials to re-roll it. I think a system like that would be excellent at G rank, Master rank. I think it would really help with the grind. Monster Hunter Wilds isn't an MMO, there's no trading system, so I don't think there's a reason to have aspects of RNG that go into the 1 in a million drop rate for specific things. And I think just, you know, having the ability to re-roll aspects that you get that are somewhat imperfect, or talismans rather, it could be really good. It could be really good. I think it would help with the end game grind. I think it would also mean that talismans that perhaps once weren't particularly good, you could now re-roll them to make them good. You could even have a system where you could perhaps upgrade talismans. So let's say I get a rarity 8 with attack 2, I can upgrade it to a rarity 7 with attack 3. Just, again, these are just examples, it's just an idea. Perhaps you guys have an even better idea of how to implement it. I'm not entirely sure if that's how I do it, but I think that's what I do. Yeah, that's something that I'd like to see anyway. Something that I'd like to see happen. Let me know what you think about that. It's unlikely to happen. I think they'll probably just stick with the current RNG system that we have, because it would be a lot of work to implement something like that. But you never know. I can dream. I think it would be quite good. I think it'd be quite helpful for the grind for many of us. And hey, for players that really enjoy playing Monster Hunter, but they can't play for like, 20, 30, 40 hours a week, they can put maybe like, an hour in a day. They might get something good, and now they can get something great because they can just re-roll it with whatever materials they've got. So I think it would be a little bit of a better system for the casual audience. From my perspective, it would be great. I think it would help mitigate cheating as well because, my goodness, I see so many people spawning in god tier talismans. And I think if people knew that they could get a good talisman and then turn it into a god talisman through their own grind and effort, I think they'd be a little bit more inclined to engage with the system. Not that I ever condone cheating, but I think a lot of people just go, you know what, I don't want to grind for something that's got odds of a 1 in a million, 1 in 2 million, and they just give up. So yeah, and I can resonate with that. I don't, like I said, I don't agree with it, but I understand why people do it. I'm not blind to the reason as to why people cheat, but it's just a shame to see so much of it, see it so prevalent. I guess it was more prevalent in Sunbreak, but I think if the talisman system continues down the path that Sunbreak went down, yeah, we could end up with a little bit of an issue. This kind of leads me on to number 10, and oh man, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this suggestion, but I'll explain my reasoning and at least hear me out before you quit the video. I'd like to see health augment come back. Is that crazy? Is that crazy for me to say? Maybe augments in general? Just basic augments, but keep it specifically for monster weapons. I think this would really help differentiate the Artian system if that's going to be taken into Master Rank, which I'm expecting it will do. And the monster weapon system, because at the moment the monster weapons are really getting left by the wayside. And one way I think Capcom could really help keep them relevant in the endgame is to allow us to augment them. I think the augment system in World, for all the flack that it got, it was pretty decent. Health augment really allowed us to keep up the pace in combat, and it also allowed Capcom to make other monsters more aggressive and faster. It also allowed for a trade system, a trade-off, where you might take a hit and you go, right, well, I can sheath my weapon and safely heal, or I can continue in combat and maybe get my health back in combat, but the risk is I might die. And that was exciting. That was exciting for health augment. It took a note out of Frontier, which had done it beforehand, and also borrowed from games like Bloodborne, where it really upped the pacing of the combat, and I enjoyed it immensely. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I just think about it all the time, especially in Wilds where you take so much shave damage. Oh my goodness. If you've played a counter weapon or a guard weapon in Wilds, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. At 9-star monsters, doesn't matter how perfectly you play, you're gonna take some shave damage. Like, you're gonna get like nicked every now and again. And when you do, your only option is to just keep getting slowly whittled down until, if you're in solo and you've got your Palico, you pray that your Palico brings you a heal. Not bloody likely. Or you have to sheath your weapon, slow down the combat, and take a heal. Now, I know a lot of Monster Hunter purists are going to go, that's exactly what we want. We want old gen Monster Hunter. We want the you shouldn't even be able to move while you take a Mega Potion, and you chug for 10 seconds, and the monster can kill you, and you're vulnerable. And yeah, okay, I get it. I understand you guys. You never shut up about it. But listen, Monster Hunter's moved on a bit, the pacing of the fights, everything has increased. We're getting closer and closer to that Frontier experience with the pacing. And with it, I think having the augmentation system back would be great. And again, like I said, it could give the devs an excuse to really boost the monster weapons up to the level of Artium weapons whilst offering us an alternative, something different. Because the way Artium weapons are going, they're going to have set bonuses and armor bonuses on them and all this, that, and the other. And I'm sure that's going to be really good, even going into Master Rank in the early game. Now, the monster weapons, if we could augment them, again, perhaps you have to have... Here's my idea for augmenting, right? Don't do it like you did with World, with the random... what were they called? there was random drops, and you'd have to get like, you know, certain amount of bow pieces if you wanted to augment your bow, and they had to be bow attack pieces. If you remember it, if you played it, stream stones, that was the one. Stream stones, that was the name of it. Now, I would do it where if I've got a Rathian weapon and I want to augment it and give it an augment, perhaps that monster weapon has a unique augment. Perhaps the Rathian weapon gets the health augment. We'll just use it as an example. Again, it doesn't have to be like this. I'm just, you know, hear me out. So, in order to get it, you have to get maybe 5 Rathian rubies, 10 plates, and 20 wings. So you make it expensive, but here's the thing. If I love the Rathian longsword and I'm using it and I want to augment it, it just gives me an excuse to farm that monster that I enjoy and I enjoy the weapons from. And you can make it expensive because the augmentation system is an endgame system. So you can, not only are you fighting the monster that gives you the weapon that you enjoy using to help make that weapon relevant, but you're then using those parts that from that monster to actually improve the weapon. I mean, hey, you could have a selective augment system like you had in World as well. You can pick attack, affinity, defense boost, health augment. Yeah, fair enough. But you could also do it in a way that every weapon gets a unique augmentation to help make everything relevant and interesting under different circumstances. That's another way that you could do it. Again, that's a lot of work. I get it. The devs would probably, you know, oh my goodness, long nights at the office. I'm not trying to lambast them with an entire new gameplay system to implement, but I am suggesting perhaps they take a look at some of these systems, like the augmentation system from World, and maybe bring it back. And again, perhaps don't put it on the Artian weapons, because, oh my goodness, if the Artian weapons keep getting upgrades at the rate that they're getting them, oh my goodness, yeah, they're going to be so OP in Master Rank. Either that, or they treat them like the Rampage weapons from Rise, where they just fade into obscurity and are never used again. And I would not be entirely opposed to that, if I'm being honest. I know a lot of you would be angry because you probably spent a lot of time farming and upgrading and getting your god rolls, but you know what? If they drop Artian weapons into G rank, so be it. I'll live with it. Even, I mean, guys, I have so many god rolls. I've spent thousands of hours already in Wilds. If I can forsake my Artian weapons, then you can do it too. But yeah, that's the 9th thing that I would love to see in G rank Master Rank. Okay, we're here. We're at the finale, guys. I know it's a long video. This is probably going to be the biggest video I've ever made. If you're still here and you're still watching, thank you, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, it helps support the content. Again, I'm a small content creator. We're not that big on YouTube, but we're getting there. And if you like to see more content like this, vote with your like, vote with your comment, hit the share button as well. Share this around. Let's start a conversation about this. But here's number 10. Upgradable guild hall and farm. Now, many of you have played old Gem Monster Hunter will remember the upgradable farms. At the moment, we got the Natter farm. Now, whilst it's useful, it's kind of boring and it lacks personality, just like Natter. Yeah, I want to see the farm flourish and it upgrades as you go through and you build a farm. We're in the Forbidden Lands, we don't have a farm. Let's make one. That could be put into the story element, and you can gather palicos and felines to come and work the farm and gather materials for you, and then you could collect them from Natter. Natter could operate the farm. He could be Farmer Natter, and you get to oversee the farm. I feel like that could be a really cool system. You know, bring back the mines, bring back the fishing boats, bring back the ballista that fires out a giant net and it captures fish, but then you can have it all automated and operated by palicos. Oh, it would be so good, guys. It would be awesome. I think the food system in this game is kind of, you know, it's whilst it's not as in-depth as it perhaps was back in 2nd gen, it's not suffered too much, but I feel like the farm has been streamlined a bit too much. Having just Natter sit on a bench and give us materials, oh man, I mean, yeah, I guess World didn't really have anything much better either, but that's even more reason why I would love to see the farm come back. I miss it so much. I just, you know, walking into it and seeing it and having all the palicos. Now, I know we had to manually do everything, most things back then, but hey, you could streamline it by making it automated and having us hire palicos to run the farm. I feel like that would be really good. That's one of the things I'd love to see come back. We could upgrade it with points. We could upgrade it with unique materials that we gather from the environment. Perhaps they could have like rare spawns for certain things that we need to gather and wait for them to spawn under certain conditions. What with all the changing environments and stuff that we have in Wilds. I mean, there's so many different ways they could make it really interesting and engaging and something that we work towards over a long period of time. I think there's so much potential to bring back a farm system like the days of old. It's just a really cool downtime element. Alongside that is my other idea, which I know a lot of people want to have their own custom houses back to put their pets, and I get that. It was great. It was fantastic in World and Iceborne, and if we got that back, I would not be disappointed. But listen, there was a game that had something even better, and that was Frontier, and we had customizable guild halls. Now, not quite to the same level that we have in World, in Iceborne, but you could upgrade the guild hall by providing resources to it collectively with members of your guild. Now, in Wilds, we have squads, so we could have squad halls that you build up and you contribute to, and you can customize. Imagine you could get little picture frames and take your photos from your gallery and then stick them up on the wall. You could have like little hunter notice boards. You could all contribute your pets and your giant collections. You could have a giant fish tank and everyone could put one fish in it from their biggest catch. You could have all your endemic life going around from different players in the squads. It would be incredible, guys. I mean, even just thinking back to Frontier where they had just Puggy. That was it. You had different Puggies that you could give different outfits that you had to farm for, and they'd give you bonuses out on the hunt. It was so creative. It was such a good idea, and it never made its way into mainline. But just imagine, with Wilds, they could build it into the story. We're going to establish a guild hall in the Forbidden Lands, and we get to build it, and part of that building it is, implementing all these different aspects from your squads. And perhaps we could have, again, custom furniture, custom elements. And I mean, Capcom, blimmin' hell, they love to sell their cosmetic furniture stuff. They could put all of their paid DLC into this as well. Obviously, loads of free items, but hey, if they started putting paid DLC into that, it means we're not going to end up getting paid DLC on the armor and the weapons, which would be excellent because it means it doesn't affect us out on the hunt. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one of the best systems they ever implemented in Frontier. It was so much fun. I had a great time upgrading and customizing the guild hall and watching it slowly improve over time. And we never got it in mainline. I think it's time, guys. I think it's time we got a customizable guild hall in mainline. It would be excellent. I think Wilds is the perfect candidate for it as well, because thematically it would fit. It would make sense that we would be establishing a guild hall now that we've sort of eradicated many of the major threats within the Forbidden Lands. I just think it could be excellent. I think it really, really could be. And you could build it at the back of the current gathering hub. So where the Diva currently sings, behind there, you could build a gathering hub. I think that would be awesome. I mean, who knows? Maybe Capcom are already planning that. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, guys. But, if you didn't play Frontier, you missed out on that system. And I think it's something that would just be excellent. I think it would be so cool. The imagination runs wild. I'm sure you can think of all the different things you could do with it. Let me know that. Again, I've said it like 10 times in this video, but let me know in the comments what you think of the idea of having a customizable guild hall. It's a shared house that we all contribute to together from our squads. I think it would be excellent. I would love it. Yeah. But, I mean, hey, maybe there's a reason why it shouldn't happen. Maybe there's a reason it wouldn't be good. I'm sure you'll let me know down below. And worst case scenario, like I said, having an old school farm again, and even just a player-owned house for us to put our endemic life in, I'll take that. If we get to build a house, it's good enough. It's good enough. It's not a guild hall, but I'd still take it. It would be great. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you think about that idea anyway. But those are the 10 things and some change that I would love to see in Monster Hunter Wilds Master Rank / G Rank. My goodness, this video, it's gone on for 50 minutes. I just looked at the recording timer. Again, I know some of you hate the non-scripted, just sort of chats that I have here on the channel. I apologize. For those of you that it's not your content, you know, fair enough. But for those of you that do enjoy it, hopefully you've enjoyed having a listen, and perhaps you've enjoyed some of my ideas. Again, I'd love to hear about some of your ideas for what you'd like to see in G Rank and Master Rank, because I think collectively as a community, we do have a voice, and Capcom do listen. So you never know. We might end up making a suggestion here, or someone might make a suggestion in the comments that Capcom reads and goes, oh, you know what? That's a good idea. We're going to do that. So yeah. Let me know what you think, and if you did enjoy the video, hit the like button, cheeky share, maybe subscribe, and if you want more chats like this, perhaps on a one-to-one basis, live over on the Twitch channel or here on YouTube, you can go and follow me over there, Twas by Design on Twitch, so twitch.tv/TwasByDesign. Head on over, give us a cheeky follow, and yeah. I'll hopefully see you there at some point in the coming days. We're coming close to GOG, guys. We're coming close to GOG, 16th of December. So don't forget, make sure you're all preparing. If you're not sure what you need to do to prepare, I highly recommend you watching my previous video, which was 10 things you need to do before Gogmazios. I'll leave a link in the description for you. Definitely check that out. That should help you get ready, because you've only got a few weeks, guys. And some of you, you've been absent from the game. You've got some farming to do. You've got some stuff to get ready. You've got some spheres to farm, some talismans to farm, some armors to get upgraded, and some Artium weapons to get upgraded as well. But hopefully, I will see you all out on the hunt on the Twitch channel. So yeah, have yourselves a lovely jubbly one, guys. Take care. As always, it's been a pleasure. And hopefully, I will see you all soon. Much love, guys. Much love. Take care. Oh god, the lag. Dude, the lag. I didn't hit that on my screen, but I hit it on somebody's screen. Get a weak spot on the head again, so when we land those TCSs, we do some big boy damage. Oh my god. Might be dead here. Oh my god. Oh, dude. Didn't get hit, by the way. That's just pure shade damage. Oh no. No, didn't turn the camera fast enough. Stunned, I'm dead. Block. Oh. Oh, well, we're in sync. Send it! Woo. Oh my god, the shade damage. That was the tail swipe I just took out. What? Oh, we broke something. Oh no. Whoa. Guys, what's the best way to get nourishing extracts? Bowling. Bowling. Dude, when you're all running offset weapons, it's so much fun. It really is. It's a good time, man. It's a good time. Whoa! Smash! Oh, that's hilarious. He's gonna kill me with shave damage, right? No, I didn't get the perfect guard, so I ended up getting hit. That's the one problem. If you miss that perfect guard, ouch. Oh, there's a temple room. Go on, dual blades, do you think? I could not hit that focus strike. Like, even there where my weapon, like, touched it, it did not give it to me. Oh, he's going for Argveld. Do that fast enough. I actually got it there, but no block. Where are we going? Who are you going for? There's no one over there. The only problem I have is my balls explode way too early. Like, there was nothing there that my ball hit. It just decided to explode everywhere. And I didn't, you know, I didn't get anything because it exploded too soon.